So do you still remember your first game, how it all started with chess for you?
Well, I remember the first game and also the first day I discovered chess. It was at school. My math teacher was teaching math using chessboard. I remember that day I was captivated by chess. I went back home and told my dad, I want to play chess. He had a chessboard at home and we played a game. He beat me like 4 or 5 moves. And it was funny because after that he said, there's no point in playing you. Like,
Really? So you
I mean,
never
he wasn't
played
too
it?
harsh, but that helped me a lot because of that I started to take it seriously, and I think I am who I am because of that.
That first match.
That first match, yes.
And I think you're asking, did you
Yeah,
ever
so
play him again? Or?
No, we never played again.
Wow.
After that.
So his
it's
father's still
undefeated,
undefeated
yes.
against you.
There's a few players out there who's got a plus score against
Wow. So basically, after all of that, fast forward, I remember you were saying that when you were in school, you were in like the chess team, but then after like 2 weeks, you're already beating the chess teacher. So you wanted to move on to playing adults. So let's say from age 13, you've dropped out of school. What happens next?
Well, then I was spending most of my days working a lot on my chess, and in South America there wasn't too many chess tournaments to play, so I had to travel a lot to play tournaments in Europe, mostly in Europe, because I always wanted to play against a stronger opposition. So that's why I realized that when I was a kid. I told my dad, I need to play adults. I don't want to play my, same age.
Yeah.
How does it feel to play far from home? Is it harder?
Well, it was hard at first, but then I got used to it, and I actually enjoyed that lifestyle as well.
Yeah, traveling and playing.
And actually, that was my lifestyle since then, traveling a lot.
Yeah. So
Not only playing tournaments, but also doing simuls and
yeah,
conferences.
right. And so at age 15, you became international master,
Yes.
right? And that's a pretty big feat to achieve in itself.
Yes, and the tournament I got that title was how would I put this in English? The Continental. You got like the World Championship, and then you got the European Championship. In America, we got the Pan American that goes from Canada all the way down to Argentina. And I won the tournament. It was under 20. I was 15.
Wow,
Wow.
So that was a huge achievement.
that's a big achievement.
Yes.
Yeah. And then after that, so then it took you 3 years to become Grandmaster.
Yes.
How did you do that? What was the process like?
Well, in order to be a Grandmaster, not only you have to have a good rating, you also need to get at least 3 norms. And in order to get a norm, you need to play in an international tournament against Grandmasters from other countries. You cannot get that in a national tournament. And it is hard,
Yeah.
because you have to win most of your games, and that's not easy against Grandmasters. And yeah, it's
Wow.
So the
still
only
nowadays it's tough to make a Grandmaster norm. Yeah,
so the only title higher than the Grandmaster is a world champion, right?
I would say so. The Grandmaster is still the world champion is still a Grandmaster, but that is the highest level you can get. It's like the black belt in karate.
Were you planning at some point to go for that title, or your goal was to become a Grandmaster?
I would say if I wanted to be a world champion, I would have to go back 10 years ago and do things differently. I should have carried on studying 8 hours a day. I know what it takes to get there, so my lifestyle, the adult lifestyle as well, you got other priorities.
Yeah, to sacrifice.
In order to be a world champion, it's huge sacrifice.
Yeah. So when you reached Grandmaster at 18, you said, okay, that's it. Like, I've reached my goal now. You didn't want to sort of put in that you didn't want to spend the time on sort of trying to go for the world champion.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I still play from time to time because I really like it, but my focus is not to get better and better.
Yeah.
I mean, it is because as we mentioned earlier, the margins are getting better.
It's very small.
Too tough.
And I mean, I suppose, like you said, you sacrificed a lot of years, and I don't know if sacrifice is the right term because you were doing what you loved, but you put a lot of hours in during your teens already.
You missed out on a lot of things as well, so yes.
So I've heard at some point you reached #1 at Speed Chess.
Yes, this was 12 years ago. It was online, because actually Speed Chess, there are no tournaments, you cannot play live tournaments of Speed Chess because it's just too quick, too aggressive. But online it's different because you get a minute per player.
Wow.
And the game
1 minute.
max,
Wow.
just 1 minute. And maximum 2 minutes the game is finished. So for a week I was
World #1.
Yes. Back then there was a site called ICC, Internet Chess Club. Nowadays there are other sites to play, chess.com, League Chess, those are the most popular sites. I would still be, I think, within the top 50 in the world at the moment. I'm not playing at the moment that much, and actually it's not only about your play, it's about having a great connection, a great mouse. There are other things that come into play. But 12 years ago, I was at my peak.
It must be a lot of pressure to play in 2 minutes. How do you deal with pressure?
Well, I would feel more pressure in a classical game, in a real tournament game. When I play online, for some reason, I don't feel the pressure. Once you get used to it, I mean, I feel the pressure, but I don't get distracted by it. When I'm playing a game, I'm focused. Even if there's something happening outside, I would still be focusing.
So no matter, even if there was a fire outside,
yes,
you wouldn't even notice it. You're just hyper-focused.
During the game, it's like
nothing else exists.
I mean, I don't want to use this word. So I couldn't care less what's going on outside, or even if there's some music or whatever.
You don't hear it.
No, I don't hear
into the game.
I don't.
Wow.
Yes.
Extreme focus.
Extreme. Yeah, that is extreme. Yeah.
So I guess this is sort of something we see with high performers and even people who have some level of genius within them. They have that sort of, they have these things that are these rituals and these different levels to them. So I want to talk a bit about things specific to you. So as I've heard that you have a special way of cooking noodles. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Well, time is the only asset that we can't get back. It's valuable. So what I do is sometimes I gotta be time efficient. I use my kettle. I put my noodles in
directly in the kettle.
less than a minute.
That's
efficiency.
Like
Speed Chess as well.
Yeah.
Less than a minute.
Straight into the kettle.
Yeah,
do you eat it out the kettle as well, or?
Yeah, sometimes.
You see, that's even more efficient. Yeah.
But I got a kettle dedicated to noodles. Just
wow.
And
That's
I got coffee and yes.
And
time efficient.
Another thing that we spoke of before was you told me that you have hundreds of pens in your room because basically I think you said something about in your first match, or maybe you can explain it better.
Well, yeah, we're going back when I was probably 5 years old. I always needed something in my hand to keep the focus on. When I'm thinking about something or working on something, I need to focus on that. It's like I've got a lot of energy. I need to
expend it somewhere.
Yes, somewhere. And when I started playing chess, I had a snake. That was not a real one. It was a toy.
Was it to lure your competitors or?
That was useful. It was scaring my opponents away. I used the tail to release the tension.
Okay.
And when I became older, then I replaced that
with pens. Yeah.
Still nowadays, I got a retail of pens at my place.
So
just in case one goes missing.
So you just feel like it calms you to have the pen that you can play with and sort of like a fidget thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Interesting.
I don't know if that's a ritual, but it might be an issue I've got.
No. I don't think it's an issue at all. I think it's it's very common.
It's definitely not normal.
It's not normal, but it's normal for high performers to have this sort of. I've seen that sort of thing. I feel better
now, thank you.
I've seen this sort of thing with reading about athletes, reading about top performers, and they do have a lot of those sorts of habits and rituals. So it's interesting to hear about that. So if we look at the industry or the market of chess, there's around about 600 to 800 million players, depending on what sources you look at. But according to a recent survey released by FIFA, they said there's roughly 300 million active football players in the world. So that means, there's double the amount of active chess players than there are people playing football. Yet when you look at the reward system for, let's say, pro footballers versus, people of the same level in chess, it's different. Is that the case, and how do you feel about that?
It is the case, and I think I don't feel bad about it. I mean, you're right, there are more chess players than there are football players, but there's also a market for football. People enjoy watching football. Watching chess on TV is not that enjoyable, so there's not a big market for that. So there's more value in football than there is in chess.
Right.
I mean, there's still money to be made in chess, but you gotta be
the highest.
Yes.
So the world number one, up to 10 maybe, or what?
Yes, but you're not gonna be a millionaire playing chess, unless of course you find other ways to. Not by playing chess, it's not gonna be enough, in my opinion.
Yeah, interesting.
If we look at your blueprint, what would you say is the step-by-step process of becoming a grandmaster?
I would say a lot of hard work, not giving up, learning from your defeats. That's what I would say, because it's easy in the process to feel the pressure, and you'll feel like you want to give up because it's pretty tough. And I've known some great players, they're still trying, and they're not making it to grandmasters. So I think it's just discipline. It's the key, the long-term approach.
And if you retire from chess now, what will you do?
I really like numbers, investing, and before I started playing chess, my life was all about dinosaurs.
Really?
I got back to them, yes.
Wow,
Yes.
interesting.
I was reading books since I was 7 till 10. My life was all about dinosaurs. I was basically eating books, dinosaur related.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
So, is there sort of any kind of cheat codes you can offer us? Any sort of quick hacks? So, for example, I'm first starting out chess. I want to be another beginner. What's the best opening?
I would name 3.
Okay.
The Spanish, Italian, and Sicilian.
Okay.
Of course, we cannot.
You can learn about it in the book.
French, yeah. The French as well.
Is that your favorite move?
Yes. And I forgot the Queen's Gambit as well.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Can't forget that
Because
one.
the Queen's Gambit we forgot to mention, it's a chess move. It's an opening. It's not it's not a novel. It's a chess move. It's probably the main.
The best opening?
I would say it's alongside the Italian and the Spanish. It's there. It's right.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a matter of taste.
Right.
And if you're playing black, what would be your favorite defense strategy?
I'm between Sicilian and French.
Okay.
Because those are played as black, and the Italian, Spanish, and Queen's Gambit are played as white.
Wow. And what's the next sort of high-level strategy you should be aiming for in the game?
With the middle game, we're always looking for tactics. That's why I always recommend doing a lot of puzzles, tactics, exercises.
Okay. Is it a good idea to get the knights out early?
Absolutely.
In general?
Knights and bishops, you castle as soon as you can, and then once all of your pieces are out, then you're ready to pull the trigger.
Okay. And if people want to learn more about, your sort of strategies and tactics, where can they find you? Or where can they see your content?
Well, ichess.net. That's I've been doing that for like 7 years.
Wow. Some good library on there.
There's loads of videos you can find there.
Yeah.
Not only my videos, also other grandmasters' videos as well.
Okay. Well, unless you have any questions, I think, Well, Well, thank you so much. We've really appreciated having you on the show, and I think everyone watching is very inspired by your story about what you can achieve with hard work and dedication. And we I've really appreciated your time. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you
enjoyed
for
it.
your time.
And
shall we maybe play for
yeah,
a
let's
match now?
can
Yeah.
we both challenge you
Okay.
simultaneously?
Okay.
Alright, let's go.
Yeah, let's do it.